Welcome to the Austin All Day Podcast. I'm Jason Powers, and this is episode 17. We're here with Chef Christian from OP Italian in the JW Marriott downtown. You guys sit back, grab a drink, and check it out. I am here with Chef Christian from OP at the JW Marriott.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Jason, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
And how is OP going?
It's good. Very busy night, Friday night going into Mother's Day and stuff. So a lot going on, a lot of transients, and it should be a good weekend. So we're looking forward to it.
That's right. You came straight from work.
Straight from work. Caught a rainstorm on the way here.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't rain till I hit Slaughter, actually.
The temperamental Austin weather.
It's nuts. The weather's been nuts the last few days, huh?
It absolutely has. So we've had humid, nasty heat the day before, rain all day today, cold. No.
It was cold today. It was cold
all
today,
day today. And who knows what we got.
It's supposed to be
tomorrow.
70 tomorrow, so we'll see what we get,
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having me, man.
So OP's going well?
Going well. Me and the gang staying busy over there, and we're always conjuring up good things and keeping it moving, It's we got that new bar going out there on Brazos, right across from Cedar. And
okay, cool.
It's doing good. It's a beautiful bar. It's beautiful at night.
Construction's done?
Yeah. We got that rolling in February.
So it's
rolled out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How's it going?
It's going great. Real nice bar. Real nice ambiance. Very intimate. A couple of TVs. You can catch a game. You can, go there with a friend. Full menus available. We just revamped the new wine list. That's going into effect pretty soon. We got some gems in there, and they're priced right. They're priced to drink, priced to sell. So, kudos to the front of the house team. They're doing a real good job with that. And yeah, we're doing good stuff. So, Mother's Day on Sunday, we got some tasty morsels we're going to be cooking. And
Good. Brunch?
Brunch, yeah. We'll be running some specials for dinner also, but definitely, gotta take care of the mothers. The mothers are, that's where it starts and where it ends. So, Mother's Day is of the utmost importance to us. So, it should be a good weekend. So,
cool. We were talking about Cedar Door. We're talking about that new part opening.
Cedar Door. That's the JW watering hole. That's the watering hole to a lot of places. In that part of downtown, and yeah,
I've walked in there and I've seen a couple guys grabbing a couple drinks before a shift, which surprised me, but it was before a shift.
We've got people working around the clock, so you might see somebody in there at noon with the margarita. And
right.
Those guys are great. We love Cedar. We do a lot of manager events over there and stuff. And,
Sure.
It's always fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious. You've been there for 3 years. Maybe what led you over there? Where were you before that?
Before I was at the JW, I was working at the Stephen F., the Intercontinental on 7th in Congress.
Okay, by the Carolyn? Oh, no, Carolyn now. Okay.
Yeah. At that time, they were building the Aloft. But yeah.
Okay.
I was there. Prior to there, I was at Salt and Time.
Oh, yeah?
Prior to Salt and Time, I spent a couple years with Whole Foods. I opened the Whole Foods domain.
Okay. What were you doing at?
I was working on the meat team.
Okay, trained as a meat cutter.
I did some cutting, more of a manager, buyer.
The domain. Okay, that's interesting. Whole Foods. I mean, I have a soft spot for Whole Foods. I like Whole Foods in Austin.
I like Whole Foods. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you go shopping, is it there? Or you end up at
No,
H-E-B,
I shop at Central Market.
Central Market.
Yeah,
they do take the lead.
I used to work at Central Market, and
which one?
The first one, the one up north on 38th. Yeah.
When I compare Whole Foods, I mean, we're not bashing Whole Foods.
No.
I was at Whole Foods earlier.
No, not at all. I
just think that there's a next step up, right?
From which one?
At Central Market. If you go
Whole Foods. They take a very conscious approach as far as sustainability and
okay, yeah,
and if it's meat or fish, make sure that it's raised humanely. Same with the produce and other things. So that shuts them off from a lot of vendors or certain products they can sell.
Right. Yeah.
Like you'll never see a lobster tank at a Whole Foods because of whatever it is.
Yeah.
So if you want a live lobster, you got to go to.
We talked about this like really briefly, but if you kill a lobster humanely, how do you do it? How do you do it?
Me?
You drop it in boiling water. You split down the middle.
It depends what you're doing with the lobster. More times than not, you're poaching it. I just poach them in salted water. If you're grilling them, you might sever them with a knife and
right.
Clean them out and such. Some people part cook them.
But at the end of the day, it's just a big bug.
I don't want to offend anybody. I mean, it's
a sea bug.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like a sea bug.
It's if I'm not mistaken, it's somewhere on the lines of like a cockroach as far as the
wow. I wasn't going to
the
go
scale
that far.
or whatever. Well, if I'm not mistaken, so
right.
But no, lobster's delicious and but no, Whole Foods, Central Market.
Yeah.
If you buy produce at any one of those stores, buy like an eggplant or so, and put it in your fridge versus an eggplant that you're buying at a Randall's or an H-E-B.
Oh, yeah.
Like a week later, that eggplant's still beautiful, while the other one,
is
full of spots. And so.
Yeah. What about Sprouts?
I like Sprouts. They got a great produce section.
Absolutely, right? And
it's great prices. Great prices.
Well priced, good produce, like almost comparable to Whole Foods and Central Market at certain times.
Yeah. They might not have the variety that you'll find at a Central Market or a Whole Food, but I mean, a lot of that organic produce is coming from the same farms.
Yeah.
Whether it's Babe or, so it's literally the same product, just
right.
You're paying X much here and Y much there, so.
Right. So you're up north. So Central Market is where you end up going. You go to the north?
Yeah.
Okay. They do all that live music and stuff up there, yeah?
Yeah, I believe that they've got a small little stage patio where the cafe is.
Do you ever go over there for that?
No, not really.
No. Just do the shopping.
Shopping. If I'm off, if it's a little warm, grab a beer maybe or something. But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you just came from work earlier today. I said so. You work a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're off, what do you like to do?
I just like to charge the batteries, and more times than not, I'm spending time with my family or trying to at least. And I don't do much. I don't,
more introverted. Like
I wouldn't say that. I mean, we go to dinner, once, twice a week, and
well, let me just ask then, because I always ask everybody.
Yeah,
but I like to wait till later. But
okay.
Where do you go? Where are your, like, give me a couple hidden gems, places?
I wouldn't call them hidden.
They don't
a hidden
need to be
gem,
hidden, but whatever you want to call them.
So there's not as much where I live on the north side as there is.
I say the same thing down here. Well, South Austin.
But you're closer to downtown than I am.
That's definitely true.
The
I
east
just
side.
meant in the immediate area, South Austin.
That's kind of how it is where I live.
Yeah.
So, no, we usually go downtown or down south to eat.
It's a tough question.
Go-to spots.
We'll come back to this question. Yeah. We'll come back to it. Maybe there's a reason I asked way later.
Yeah. We'll definitely come back and.
Yeah. We got to get that out of you.
I'll have an answer for you.
Yeah, places to go. But since we were talking about Central Market, where when you there you go. That's that Redbreast. This has been a hit here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salud.
Jameson-esque. Yeah, very good.
It tastes so good when it hits your lips.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So at Central Market, when you're going through there, I mean, are you cooking for your woman?
Yeah, home. Yeah.
What are you doing at home? Does that chef mentality from work I mean, you've been in kitchens for a good while. I'm assuming we can touch on that. But when you get at home and you're, in the pantry and the fridge, are you got that mentality at home?
Not so much. I mean, as far as the organization and that kind of stuff, yeah. But I don't do anything too crazy at home. A lot of pasta.
Yeah, simple stuff.
Yeah, salads, pastas. Day-to-day stuff is more. Yeah, simple stuff. Just salmon, vegetables, a good salad. We're big on soups, that kind of stuff. Make a nice soup that'll last you a couple days. And
so almost, I do more recently, like, I guess it's not recent, but like a meal prep kind of approach.
I guess you could call it. Yeah, we'll make a few things that'll last us 2 or 3 days.
You get home tired, you don't have to think about it. Heat it up. You made it.
That's way easier than cooking and having to clean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's a good approach to home.
Yeah, more pasta than anything. That's our go-to.
No kids though yet.
No kids. No.
Is that on the horizon? I know that's a big question.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm sure. It's just
you keep the pasta going.
It's what we like, It's hard to go wrong with that,
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Dry pasta is the best,
Yeah.
If you make a sauce or a sugo or a ragu or something, and, batch it out, put it in the freezer in delis or in bags, and boil some pasta when you get home. By the time you're out of the shower, the stuff is thawed out.
I try that. I haven't done that yet. All right.
Beats a sandwich or a wrap or something, So.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. So, and you said, on your days off, like hobbies kind of stuff, but family, recharge a little bit.
Yeah.
Take a break, right?
Yeah, like most people, I'll take a day for myself, for me and the lady, and the other day, chores, errands.
You're taking a break
family,
right now,
that
right?
kind of stuff. What do you mean?
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, this is pleasant.
Okay, good. You working tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Bright and early?
Nah, I'm usually in around 11.
Okay, that's not too bad.
10, 11, yeah.
That's not too bad. And just popped into my head, but Chef Chad, he's a great guy, right?
Yeah, Chef Chad's a character.
Yeah, he sets the tone a little, along with him. Whenever I talk to him, you guys are great leadership over there for setting the tone.
Yeah, we got a good team.
Kitchen.
We got a good team, and Chad's the head for sure, and it's in that setting, right? With so many players, whether it's from corporate or from another department and stuff, it's good having a chef like that can anchor the department down and be there for you and fight battles for you that maybe you might not have a lot of traction on versus him. So yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
Chad's good people.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to hear. Yeah, I feel that. And I don't know. I only see so much, but from what I see, I like Chef Chad a lot.
Yeah. Chad's full of stories,
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll get him in here, get a couple drinks in him.
You should get him on here, actually. Yeah.
I'd love to. I told him. He said he's going camping, vacation. I don't know what he said. You know what? I don't know what he said he was doing. He was doing something.
He's always doing something.
He's always doing something. But, that's typical, though. But the, JW, that's the hotel scene, Salt and Thyme, Whole Foods. And I'm literally pedaling backwards right here.
Yeah, Whole Foods, we opened that Whole Foods in...
So you helped open it?
Yeah, the end of 2014, I want to say. I had moved here a month and a half prior to that. I was in Las Vegas for 11 years.
Real change of pace over here?
It's just a different market, different demographic, different clientele.
Yeah. But when you moved here from Vegas, the first thing was opening the Whole Foods, the domain?
Yeah.
So were you at a Whole Foods in Vegas?
No, I was. I worked at hotels in Las Vegas.
Okay, so the hotel game is something that's kind of ingrained in you.
Yeah, I've worked at quite a few hotels, probably over half a dozen hotels, mostly in Las Vegas.
Okay.
I had moved to Las Vegas in 2002 from Austin.
And the scene in Vegas, from my understanding, is a little elevated as far as like fine dining.
Yeah. It's Las Vegas.
Yeah. We don't have tons of fine dining here. I mean,
I'm sorry.
yeah, you're good.
No.
Yeah, it's more. I don't know what it'd fall under.
I think back to like 2016 when places like La Vie and Congress,
Yeah.
and Key and places like that were the nicer places in the city, like they went under and stuff, and it's, I don't know.
We see places open. We see places close. When's the last time you were in like a restaurant setting? Besides like Salt and Thyme, but that's not really.
So the last restaurant I worked at was at Wynn, actually the Encore Tower, their sister property or whatnot. And that was, I left there in 2013.
But yeah, that was good. Oh, so what's the difference? Like, what do you prefer? I mean, you obviously, whether you know it or not, you got to prefer the hotel scene over the restaurant, right?
I've staged at restaurants, and I've spent the bulk of my career working. If it was in a restaurant, more than likely inside of a hotel.
Right, because OP is a restaurant.
It is a restaurant, but
Yeah.
it belongs to the hotel.
Right.
But it is a fully operating restaurant.
Okay. Yeah. You guys like share space with other kitchens, or is the OP like it fully functioning? Like if you split it off from the JW?
No. We have we don't have a lot of oven space. Our prep area is somewhat limited.
Okay, so you take advantage of that.
Yeah, we do quite a bit of cooking in main kitchen,
Okay.
which is where the combi ovens and the kettles
Oh
are.
yeah, why not, right?
As does the other restaurant. Yeah,
You got the space.
there's a 60-gallon kettle that we pull for veal stock and other stuff, and if we were to do that on a range or a stove, you'd need Lord knows how many pots. So
Right.
yeah, we have to utilize that kitchen. We don't have the room.
Right. So, but you think, I mean, what do you think it is about the hotels, compared to a restaurant that you prefer? You think there is something?
No.
No?
It just so happens that Las Vegas is hard to work in a restaurant that's not in a hotel.
Oh, is that?
And
So it's like I said, it's kind of ingrained in you a little bit,
well, it's funny because when I moved here, fresh off the boat, week here, I didn't know anybody at that time that was in the industry that cooked. I was just looking for a job, and I couldn't find a job anywhere. Went to a few places, and I wasn't applying for executive positions or CDC positions. Dropped my resume off. Hey, I'm so and so, just looking for work into the city, and I didn't hear from anybody. So I ran into a friend of mine, old colleague from Central Market. Actually, at this time he was with Whole Foods, and it was right when they were rolling out the Whole Foods domain, and that's how I got in there. But yeah, so that's what got me in Whole Foods. It wasn't by choice. I didn't come here looking to work for Whole Foods.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a chef now, but I'm by no means like when I moved here, I actually ended up working for Central Market, and it was because the chef just guaranteed when I was coming that he would help me out and I would have a job. So I put some time in at Central Market.
There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
No, it was. It turned out that chef that I'm referring to, Chef Larry, is such a good guy. In fact, if you go shop there and he's the kind of guy that if you just go up to him and say, "Are you Chef Larry?" He's so nice. It's he's got
I'll
a
keep
daughter.
an eye out for him, man.
Yeah, he's got a daughter, and he's just got this like real human, like humble approach to everything.
That's
He's
awesome.
Never stressing.
That's
He's
awesome.
kind of like you and Chef Chad. it's kind of like that. So yeah,
That's flattering. Thank you.
yeah, he's a good guy.
Chef Larry, I'll definitely look out for him.
Yeah, no,
Chef Larry.
he's great, and I know he's had Keith there for the longest time, and I got a guy Danny over there now, sous chef who came from Perry's.
Okay.
In Perry's,
The steakhouse.
Perry's, the steakhouse downtown, and they're opening up the domain now. That domain that you opened up, that Whole Foods, is just. I mean, do you frequent the domain at all?
A few times a month, not too often, but you're right. I think back to when we opened the Whole Foods, and it was just like I guess what you would refer to now as the older domain.
Yeah.
Where the Macy's and the CPK and the names of the restaurants have changed now, but it's not what it is now. And now they've got the Rock Rose and all that new area. So yeah, it's
Rock Rose, right?
It's grown quite a bit. Yeah.
You've got Culinary Dropout, Flower Child, North.
You've got
Paul.
What's the hotel where David Bulls were?
The Westin.
Well, there's the Westin, and there's
an Aloft, right?
Is there?
I think there is. Which one are you thinking?
There's
of?
a second bar and kitchen in the domain. Which hotel is it in?
Oh, I'm not sure the name of that hotel, but there is a second bar and kitchen.
I can't remember, but yeah, a lot going on up there.
Yeah, that the second bar and kitchen, and talking about the stuff in the domain makes me think of the airport. Our airport is becoming a very interesting spot. There's a second bar and kitchen.
There is a second bar and kitchen at the airport. Yeah,
and we've had a couple guys from the Peach Tortilla. There's a Peach Tortilla in the airport. I mean, you could really go to the airport and really kind of make out.
Which is go on a date at the airport.
You could. You'd have to go through all the security.
You need yeah.
Right? That's the only problem. Otherwise,
you can't get past the gate unless you have a ticket or a fare.
Yeah, but there's the Salt Lick, the Peach Tortilla, Second Bar and Grill. Yeah. I mean, they've gone to the point where there's like a juice land in there and all that.
Shit, there's Amy's at the airport.
That's crazy.
There's Amy's.
It's such a small airport for that.
It's a busy airport. That airport.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it is. Yeah,
I remember that airport when they opened it, whichever year it was, and it was like, this airport's too big. It was so empty, and now it's.
Well, we've got so many people here. I mean, and you could say it in a negative sense, but since I've started doing this podcast, it's like, it seems like there's so many people, but there's not too many people, because, we can get around, right? You can.
Yeah, it's nowhere near like a Houston or a Los Angeles, but it's definitely not the Austin it was, 15, 20 years ago. It's definitely grown, and it's good. It's good for this city, I think. It's good for this part of the state. Like Bastrop, Lockhart, a lot of growth going on out there. Colin Butte are, blowing up. Like,
okay, so the growth from central, like Austin, is kind of like spreading out. Yeah. I see that. I mean, I'm in South Austin, and pretty soon this is going to feel like Central Austin. You know? I mean, we've got Valentina's down the way here, but the Southwest Flying Pizza, like that's like I know that's a local place, but it's just odd to be out here, to see it pop up down the street. Because right down the street is country, like it's the drive to the salt, and then you've got all this stuff popping up.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be erecting some houses up around here pretty soon. So.
They're not stopping.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, if you kind of meander off into some areas around here, you'll see that they actually are. And they're tucked away little pockets. They're just building, little condo kind of.
That's everywhere in the city. They're putting houses on houses, and
it's nuts. So. But it is what it is, right? It's only going to draw more business.
Yeah. Now you were talking about the hotels and such, and it's the volume and the way that the hotels in Las Vegas operate, especially like the nicer, the more luxurious hotels in the F&B aspect, it's pretty unique. It's pretty unique, and seeing that for such a long time, and coming to a market like this where it's not a gaming hotel, it's more of a convention hotel, and it's still busy, it's still luxurious, right? It's just a different approach of whatnot. So
it's a different approach. So, I mean, can you speak to like like actual dress code? I mean, and I'm talking about, does that play any kind of role? Not in the kitchen. I'm talking about for
the guests, yeah,
coming
yeah.
in. Like, because in Vegas, there's got to be places where there's like a your shirt and tie.
Yeah. Every restaurant I worked in Las Vegas, at least.
So everyone.
No shorts, no flip flops.
And when you come
no
here,
hats.
you can basically.
It's like the opposite. At OP, there's people in there in tank tops and flip flops.
Yeah.
And it's.
So what? I mean, I'm asking your personal experience. What is that? How does that like affect you as a chef?
It doesn't affect me as a chef. It's as far as what I do. I think if I put myself in the role of a guest that's there on a special night, enjoying themselves for whatever the occasion is, and
I think it's all experience.
they're there for the intimacy and whatever it is that they were seeking there, and then it's just doesn't match. It's not a good look.
Well, right. So if you go somewhere to a fine, you know it's going to be good food, and you're going to sit down with it's your anniversary, and then next to you is the guy in the same restaurant with shorts and flip flops.
Yeah,
That's the thing where I say it's kind of hard to.
That's a bit disheartening. Yeah,
Right. You want everybody to go out and
Yeah.
feel like you got to be, tone it down. Don't put your phone away.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass me.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's not just us, but I can't think of a place in the city where you have to go in there with a blazer, you can't wear shorts.
Yeah, right. No, I had before the actual podcast started, we were talking about things, and a guy wanted to get on here and kind of touch on that. And you're coming from Vegas and the hotels. I'm touching on it now with you, and it's funny because it's unfortunate, but then when I remember coming to Austin and the casual, laid-back approach, was something I was like, yeah, that's great. I didn't look at it as a negative, and now kind of like just peering in, and it doesn't have to be a negative thing and all, but it's kind of, it's interesting. It does create, where you can't actually go out and do that unless you go
Austin's
somewhere.
pretty casual, and
Right?
that's great and all, but there's a time and place for everything, and
There is.
I agree with you 100%. I think the same way, and if you're going to Franklin's or it's on time for a burger, then who gives a shit, right? But if you're at one of these nicer restaurants, as far as ambiance, not food, because those two places are great,
even
but
Trulux or
like a more elevated experience place, right? So not that I wear tuxes to these places, but
right, yeah.
Leave the flip flops at home. Don't go to one of those places in shorts or
Right. We're like backing up to like John Mackey. He's this CEO of the Domain, the Whole Foods. Was I don't know what the current situation.
I'm not sure. Whole Foods has
But
had a
he's
few
like
tumultuous years since.
notorious for the sandals. And
I can
shorts.
see that. Yeah, he's half a hippie, So
Yeah, that's all good though.
It's funny you mentioned that because a few days ago I was talking with my wife about that, and
What about John Mackey?
no about how we don't have a dress code in the city is a bit too lax, we think, as far as the whole dress code thing, and it's
Well, yeah. What did you guys have any touch on anything?
no,
else?
we vacation in New York for about a week every year, and
So you get
and
that
we just
there.
eat and it was like that's why you go to those places there, because that's not something that
I guess if you travel, right, that you can still get that experience is acceptable. But I mean, I currently, not only do I not have a wife or a serious girlfriend, I'm not traveling right now, just working. And yeah, I can't get that experience though. I can go in the shorts and the sandals if I wanted to. And yeah, that's great, but it does take away from
time and place for everything, like I said. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. So OP, what do we classify that as? Like the experience there?
They classify it as classic is new again. It's they rebranded the concept in a sense in February. So
Rebranded it.
yeah,
And how that's working well for you?
It's working, yeah.
New
It's,
menu and stuff?
Yeah,
or
yeah. From top to the bottom, and
everything.
wine list,
Okay, wow.
ambiance, sonography, et cetera, et cetera. So
Right.
on top of the remodel with the new bar, that was all kind of rolled into one, a month before South by. So there's just been a lot going on the last few months, and now we're
Man.
just finally starting to.
Makes you wonder who's like planning that stuff out. The month before.
It all
South
went well.
by. It's good.
It all
That's
went well.
excellent.
It's a grind, man. It's a grind. That's for everybody in the city. It's not just us. So it's
It
that
is
time
a
of year
grind.
we prepare for it. We look forward to it. Say what you want. If you talk to anybody in this industry, in this city, and they say something indifferent about South by, like,
Yeah.
it's
What? It's funny.
It's the biggest thing in the city. Like, you'd be a fool even if
Yeah, we are. We're on the same page with that. When I go places and oh God, it's South by. I'm like, yes, it is. It's here. And
Yeah.
it's. I mean, everything about it is basically exhilarating. And I mean, if you're in it, I actually would rather be in the service industry than be an attendant.
Yeah.
Hey, you end up 3 days later with your feet sore. You're tired of walking around.
Yeah.
In other ways, you got you did the grind, right?
No,
I agree with you.
It's great for the city. It's great for the city, and it's only getting better and or bigger, should I say? So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the city's definitely growing.
yeah, whole new concept, top to bottom, and it's going well. We're still fine tuning every day. We're making adjustments and such, but yeah.
What's the staff like there? I mean, number wise, how many guys you got on board for OP versus the whole?
I can speak about my restaurant.
Yeah.
Front of the house, I couldn't tell you. As far as the kitchen, I probably got 20 on the roster.
Okay.
Just cooks.
It's a good size.
I've got my executive chef, myself,
You guys are lunch and dinner, or
lunch and dinner.
Okay. Yeah.
A sous chef and a chef de partie,
Okay.
and then the cooks. So
Cool. And everything's going good.
yeah, we do good stuff over there. We run this menu that was implemented by corporate and such, but we still run a lot of specials, a lot of features.
Specials that don't have to be run by corporate.
Well, they're aware of it. It's just there's times when we condense the a la carte menu because of the number of features and such. No, it's not viewed badly upon or anything.
No.
They encourage us to do that kind of stuff. And
Yeah, no, that's good. Be creative, right? Change it up, spice it up. Does that constriction of having to work under corporate ever bother you? As a creative, as a chef, someone who likes to create.
so it's been a little different here in Austin than in Las Vegas. My whole time in Nevada, no, it was never an issue.
Right.
Here, at least at the hotel that I'm at, it's slightly different, just in the way they operate. They have executive chefs for the outlets and such, but there's a lot coming in from corporate. So people always say corporate is this and corporate is that, and I'm kind of split because I spent at least a decade working in these corporate hotels, and I didn't experience any of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, what I'm kind of getting at is if you have an idea, it needs to go through all these stages of approval, or you kind of get told what's going to be on the menu, and you kind of
on some things. As far as the menu, not so much, no. But if like any hardcore changes, as far as decoration, or there's a lot of brand standards, from Marriott and such. Items
sure.
that we have to have either on the menu or accessible and that kind of stuff. So
okay, so
and that's never a
region-wide,
hindrance.
or
That's
or is it nationwide?
nationwide. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that would make more sense, right? Because people are traveling.
Yeah, but as far as the menu, that really doesn't get in there much.
Yeah.
This menu, like I said, is fairly recent, so we've still got corporate checking on it, and it's still a work in progress. But we run that, and we keep busy and stay engaged and motivated with the stuff that we do, and that's good. It's all about the people you work with, Ron. That to me is, and when you got people you can feed off of, and
well, then you're probably gonna be there for a minute.
Think about Austin. There's not, in Las Vegas, there's more restaurants per square mile than anywhere. So if you don't, I'm over this, or I've been here too long, or I want to see something new, it's not hard to, veer off and find something comparable on all levels. And here in Austin, it's not as much going on. So
well, everybody's looking for people. I mean, is it that case?
We're looking for people.
You're looking for people. So, I know we talked about, Whole Foods Vegas a little bit, but I mean, if I go rewind the tape all the way back, where did you come from?
I was born in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I grew up there. My father was in the military probably since before I was born, and he got relocated here to Texas.
What year, when you were how old?
I was like 9 or something.
Oh, man. So do you have memories of Puerto Rico?
Yeah. I mean, even though we were living here, we'd frequent it quite a bit on summers and Christmas and that kind of stuff. So,
but your roots, is that how it is? Like, do you now enjoy here more, or is that where you kind of?
Well, I grew up here. That's where I'm from and what I am. I mean,
yeah, but 9 years old. That's plenty of time over there to feel really connected to it.
I mean, I love Texas and all, and this is where I'm living, where I grew up and all. But that's where I'm from.
Yeah. No, but just the ocean, air,
it's a beautiful place, beautiful way of life over there.
Yes,
that island's been through
hell,
through some bad stuff the last couple of years.
Yeah,
God bless it to the people out there. And
yeah.
A lot of.
Do you have family there still?
Man, you know what? All of my family moved. They relocated way prior to the storm. It didn't have anything to do with it. So,
good. Because they didn't get taken care of properly. So,
it's a can of worms. That's another podcast.
It could be, right?
Yeah.
But Puerto Rico, 9 years old. You guys come over here, and where to?
We got put in Fort Hood.
Okay.
Yeah, Fort Hood. Fort Hood, Harbor Heights, Killeen, that area. And, went to high school there, graduated there. Then we moved over here to Austin.
Okay. So. And what drew you towards the kitchen?
I was cutting meat at Central Market, and a lot of the stuff that I was being exposed to and seeing I had never seen before. The lamb racks, veal sweet, I grew up eating stuff, chicken, ground beef, maybe a steak here and there.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And it was just intriguing to me. And I started buying cookbooks and eventually started cooking at home. And, this is before Food Network and, all that, stuff. So,
we got, I'll stop right here. And we got a cookbook here. What's, give me a couple cookbooks that you've come across in your time that you'd suggest for any chef or anyone listening.
Oh, I love books. Got quite a collection.
Any that stick out?
There's so many. It just really depends, where. If I've got a pretty green cook, what I'm gonna tell him to read is not gonna be the same as I'd tell maybe a sous chef or another chef that I work with. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But Sauces by James Peterson. I'm fond of the second edition.
Okay,
that's a great book. Any of the professional chef textbooks, the CIA textbook.
Yeah.
I think I bought the 7th edition when I was, buying books and trying to cook and stuff. I'm sure it's at 15th edition nowadays, but that's anything from the CIA. It's pretty solid.
You got a lot of it.
Yeah. There's so many good books out now. I can't even keep up with them anymore.
Yeah.
Whether it's fermenting, butchering, sausage making, cheese making.
Right.
There's, but no, yeah, big on books. I mean, it's good to see that stuff and be exposed to it. You definitely take a lot from it, but it doesn't replace, being in that environment.
Experience.
So yeah. So I mean, you could read the books all day and that's great, but
right. No, you need the hands-on, like in the field.
Seeing that I'm working with people that, you know, that you can take that away from. And, you know, that's something a book will never offer. So.
All right. So you start picking up books, but you're at Central Market, and your eyes are getting open to some stuff. So that's kind of where your journey, as a chef begins.
At that point, I enrolled at the CIA. Actually, I toured Hyde Park with.
That was in New York or San Antonio?
That's the one in New York.
Cool.
And I was really into that. Around that time is when I moved to Las Vegas. Right. I kind of had a summer to burn, and I went out there and really got to working with some great people. It's funny because when I was living here, I remember coming home from Central Market. I worked, 5-to-1s and such. There used to be a show. I don't remember the channel, but it was either Greatest Chefs or World's Greatest Chefs.
Yeah.
And it was a little 3-piece skit, and it showed like an app, an entree, and a dessert. And it was all over the world: Africa, Europe, the States, Asia, that kind of stuff.
You mean the cuisine they were covering?
Yeah. It'd be a different chef. And I thought it was the neatest thing, man. Like, they'd show the chef, like, you'd hardly see his face. You just see his hands and just him prepping and cooking stuff and talking. And I think you might find it on Netflix or Prime or something.
I was going to say, you could probably find that today.
Yeah, Greatest Chefs of, like, the West or of New York or whatever.
Right.
And there was a guy that I saw on the French chef at the time, and I didn't know anything about him. And I saw a couple episodes with him, and just the way he talked about food and stuff, and it was just really interesting and moving. And I ended up going to Las Vegas, and I ended up working for the chef for quite a while.
That chef?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty neat story.
So how did that come to be when you found out it was him? Would you recognize his voice?
I knew when I saw that show, it was Chef Mark. He was at La Cirque in New York. And then
did you freak out when you saw him?
I remember the first time that I saw him, it was
a little weird.
Just like hearing his voice and seeing him.
A little bit.
I wouldn't call it starstruck, but it was like
something was going on. The wheels are turning.
Yeah.
Well, that is it's such a small world, right?
It is, yeah.
It's funny how that happens though. It's like meant to be sort of thing. So that's cool though. So that's it's that kind of thing that like puts a fire in you. You know what I mean? Like, there's a purpose here. There's something more to this.
Yeah.
So you keep going with it, right? And what's next?
I moved to Las Vegas, ended up working there for a while, and just the people I was working with, the stuff I was seeing, I ended up putting school on hold. And
oh, really?
Yeah. I told myself I'll be here for a year or two, and then
did you ever get back to school?
No, I ended up not going. I was in Las Vegas for 11 years, and it was just.
Were you working hard, or did you get out there and were you partying at all?
Well, I mean, you party out there, but I mean, it's not any different than here, right? You work hard and you go out, and it's pretty crazy scene out there. But no, you work and you don't, stay in your boundaries. And, nothing too crazy.
Well, you've gotten to where you are now. I mean, you obviously.
Yeah. I worked with a lot of guys in Las Vegas that, a lot of sad stories, so.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Not like here. I mean.
Here also, I mean, I haven't been here as long as I was out there, but I'm sure, just life, I guess. It's not just this industry, but you work with people long enough, and you see unfortunate events and tragedies, that kind of stuff. So,
especially when you're in the kitchen, I mean, you're there longer, and you're with these people. I mean, everybody who works like even a 9 to 5 is with their that part of their. They're with their work more than they're with their family. Yeah. So you start to feel for people. Yeah. No, I'm sure. So let's get back into where you, in Austin, you and me are going to go right now, and we're going to go eat at your favorite place.
I don't really have a favorite place. I keep going back to Bartons Wine.
Yeah.
It's been a few months I don't go, actually. But,
Burn It? Did you ever go when they were out here on, what was it, Manchac or Lamar?
No, I've only been to the one on Burn It.
Yeah, it's good people, right?
I like that place. Service. Good service.
You've seen the steak knives?
I haven't noticed, no.
Oh, okay. You got to. I wish I knew the name.
Like your old knives, really.
No, he's
custom.
they're custom knives from a guy in Dripping Springs. You'd know the guy's name.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I should know. It's just not coming to my head. But
Yeah, they do a great job over there. And, when I was at Salt and Time, Bradley Gallagher, I want to say, I'm not too certain of his last name. He'd come in every week, pick up the orders and stuff. Got to know him, real cool guy and stuff. And he was, I want to say, at CDC at Barley Swan at the time. His wife was the pastry chef.
okay,
And that was the first time I went there. And it's one of the few places in the city that me and my wife like going that's consistent.
yeah.
It's either the service or the food. That place, we're always happy with the food. The service is on point.
Yeah. Barley Swine is a very good suggestion. Yeah. Anywhere else? You got to give me more than that.
We've been out. We eat quite a bit. You mentioned Trollocs earlier. There's a Trollocs off
Arboretum?
Yeah, that one.
Chef Brian.
Chef Brian, yeah.
Good guy.
My wife likes catching the happy hour there. They've got a cava she likes.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
It's like a $7 cava by the glass or something. It's pleasant. Some oysters, it's close to the house. We don't have to go downtown or anything.
Oh, that's great. That's cool.
Yeah, the Thai joint at Domain, that's probably the best Thai food in North Austin. Tycoon.
Oh, is that? So that's Eastside King, right? Under that. It's got all that crazy
possibly,
artwork.
yeah.
With the goldish.
Yeah. They got real good Thai food, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get one more out of you.
Via 313, we like those pizzas.
Boom, out of the park.
That's a good pie, yeah.
It's a good pie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from Chicago.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I'm preaching to the choir, yeah. That's right up your alley,
The pizza.
Yeah.
Well, you go to Chicago and you order pizza from like any place, like let's just go old school. You pull out a phone book, right? Yellow Pages, thumb through pizza, pick one, order it, one that's nearby, and it comes. It's delicious. You can't do that here.
No, not here. You got to know who you're ordering from, man.
You have to know. And really, there's like real slim picking. Like there's Via 313. They're doing it right.
Home Slice is good. I like Home Slice.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I mean,
Home Slice is good. Bufalina's, I haven't been to their,
right
Napolitan
next to
style.
Barley Swine, right? They got one next to
Possibly,
Barley Swine
yeah.
on Burn It. Yeah.
I recall like a yogurt joint being up there by Barley Swine.
It's changed,
something.
man. They've got a Lick, the ice cream place.
Lick, yeah.
And then Bufalina's right next to the...
I haven't been there since they put up that
Finley's
Bufalina.
and a Barber's. Yeah, there's another Bufalina, right?
There's one on the east side.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they got good pies out here, so...
You know who's got a good pie? If you especially you and your lady want to go somewhere, Eberly. And Eberly, go out on a limb and order a pizza.
Yeah, that's not like a pizza joint. That's like a nice place.
It's not a pizza joint. So I was there, and I was fortunate enough that I got like hooked up, for the lack of better words, where I wasn't too concerned about what I was paying for, because somebody had brought, a charcuterie plate out, and I was already full. And I said, all right, let me try this pizza. And it was literally one of the best pizzas I've ever had. And apparently a lot of work went into the dough.
Wow, yeah. The dough is the finickiest part, yeah.
No, it was very good. But it's tricky to go there. I mean, like I'm the type where if you're going to go out to eat, I don't want to wait in a line. And
yeah,
you're going to be doing that there.
Yeah, I don't like waiting lines.
All right.
I the whole time I worked at Salt and Time, I drive by and I see these people waiting in line, and like, that's you're nuts to me. Like, I've had Franklin's, it's great barbecue. Like,
did you wait?
No, I didn't wait. No.
Yeah. See.
But like, I'm not waiting in line to go eat at per se. Like,
right.
I'm not gonna wait in line to go eat at Franklin's. No disrespect, but like, come on. If that's how they operate, to where they run out and it's first come first serve, I get it. But
I've heard that.
It's almost more of a novelty. I mean, what are you going to wait in line hours for to eat when you can go,
Well, there's, and anybody who's listening to this, who's listened, has probably heard me say this, but Valentina's,
yes.
So they've always got a line too, typically.
Yeah, but you found a spot with your daughter's karate, I heard, yeah.
So you've heard me say this. There's like a sweet spot. You just walk right up.
Hey, I would Shh. Not mention that a lot because before you know it, you're going to go in there at 4.
There is a time, but you know what? There's a reason. I know that there's like a real reason. It's because it gets so congested around here. The
Traffic-wise, yeah.
At that time of day, that if you don't
I can
live
see
in
that,
this
yeah.
area, it's like, why would you be going there? You know, you need to be going home. So,
Yeah, nobody's stopping at a place for food. They're trying to get home.
have you been over there?
I have not been there. No.
But that's pretty far from you.
Yeah.
But Franklin's, how was that?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It's good barbecue. We did an event at the hotel last year. It was David Bull puts it together every year. The March of Dimes, we did it at the hotel. A lot of the chefs in Austin came in, did a little cookout and stuff, some auctioning and stuff. And Franklin's was one of those. And it's Dynamite Barbecue. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he gets his beef from Creekstone out of Kansas, pure Angus, and it's good beef, yeah.
Yeah.
Really good beef, yeah.
We had a
They
guy.
know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, we had a guy on the other day who worked with him over there,
Okay.
and he, the way he described working for him was pretty funny because he was telling him, "I know a lot about barbecue," and Aaron just laughed at him a little. Well, he chuckled.
Yeah.
That was his words, and then he said that hours later he was like, "I didn't know shit about barbecue," like compared to what he knew.
I could see that, yeah. He's a good guy. He'd come with us on time and, have lunch, a few times a week, and, super approachable.
Yeah, regular dude, right?
He'd come pick up me. You talk to him, yeah. Yeah, stand-up guy, real good guy, yeah.
So do you ever, the east side there, I mean, Salt and Time's on the east side.
Yeah, I love the east side. There's a lot going on over there.
There's so much going on.
I prefer going
right?
to the east side than going downtown or the Rainy.
Listen, when I go out, when I end up on the east side, that's when I cannot decide where I want to eat. Because when I eat, I want to eat. I'm not going to go like little nibbles here.
No, you want to eat, yeah.
Right. But there's so many options on the east side.
Yeah.
I really actually, the way things are popping up, I really wish everybody the best, but they're popping up so quickly that
It might saturate it, yeah. It might, there's only so much to go around. So whatever that, number is, and if you got,
yeah,
but 20 places in a 3-mile radius,
it's like that.
and that jumps up to 30, then it's just less business for everybody else.
No, it's really like that. There's so many good places that it's a little,
Well, that's the same with the hotels, Jason.
Yeah.
There's only so many rooms the city's gonna sell a year, and when you've got 20 hotels,
Fairmont, JW, Line. What are the? I mean, there's like Sheraton,
Four Seasons, the
Hilton,
Westin.
yeah. Oh yeah, Westin. Jesus.
There's some busy hotels out
Oh
there.
my goodness, yeah. Like Hilton, Sheraton, those aren't like competing with like you guys and.
Those are the company I work for does manage and does own some of those hotels.
Oh yeah, okay.
But it's more of a
What is your hotel like classified under? Like with the it's more like boutique, like with the restaurants and like
they consider it like the first tier of luxury.
Oh, okay.
It's technically it's a triple A 4-diamond hotel.
Okay.
So to whereas I don't think there's any 5-star or 4-star hotels. No, 5-star hotels here in the city. But
No, we kind of talked about that.
something like a Wynn Las Vegas or a Bellagio, that would be a 5-star, 5-diamond, mobile, AAA, la la la.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
And it's
But it's similar in that respect that
there's a lot of
because they got
a lot of metrics that go into that. Like is there room service available all day? Is there a lot of different stuff that some of it's related to food and a lot of it's got nothing to do with food. So.
Right. And so are you kind of saying that the stuff we're seeing on the east side, all these great places are popping up and like, hey, maybe I mean when I go there, I'm overwhelmed with where to go, in a good way.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have when you're on that end. I'm I don't live on the east side.
When you're on that end, but I'm saying when we're talking about hotels popping up left, great hotel. One day, maybe there's too many.
That happened in Las Vegas. I felt, back like 2009, 2010,
What's
2011.
your projection for Austin? You think that you see that happening?
It's not a hotel type city. Like, we need the hotels for the
But man,
conventions.
they will not
and those
stop
routes.
building.
But yeah, I mean, we've got a Marriott going up. I want to say June of next year, right on First and
by Michelada.
No. It's a few blocks away from us.
Okay.
Big structure they got going. Kitty corner to the Four Seasons.
Okay.
That's going to be a Marriott, White Lodge and Marriott.
There's so many.
They got something by campus. And that's just the company I work for. I could just imagine the other companies that are putting stuff up. But there's a new hotel that opened up on Congress not long ago. A really boutique hotel. I don't remember the name, but yeah.
Oh, I think they called me.
It's got like a Latin name, kind of.
Yeah, I'll never remember the name. I've only heard them tell me it once. But, yeah. It's an interesting... How long have you been in Austin? So until you've been here for a while.
4 or 5 years, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Well, since I moved back, prior to that, I was here another, I don't know, 3, 4 years.
Okay, but 4 or 5 years. Yeah, the JW. And what do you... future plans for you?
Future plans.
And let me dig in a little. Like, you got a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe future plans involve a family. Maybe future plans involve you, I don't know, opening a restaurant. I don't know. Maybe they involve you living out somewhere on a little plot of land with your woman. I don't know.
We're happy here in Austin. I'm happy what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with. But
Good.
Every cook, every chef, once you learn enough and gain that experience to where you can see how an operation runs, and I'm not talking about the food, more just as a business.
Yeah.
Right. And seeing that and being competent in that, and then you really start to, think, wow, I could, start to, try to follow the things you've thought of, and which at the time maybe you were a little inexperienced or short-sighted and stuff. So yeah, that's always a dream, to open something and run something, own something with somebody. And
really?
Yeah.
What would it be?
I would
if I just threw $1 million in your lap, what would you do?
Yeah. So I don't know if you know Josh Eilers from Ranger Cattle.
No,
he's out on the tollway. He's got some full-blooded Wagyu. He's doing some phenomenal stuff with
full-blooded Wagyu. Is that how
with
you
cattle
say it?
genetics? Full-blooded Wagyu.
Oh, full-blooded. I thought you said full-blooded.
Full-blooded. I'm sorry. He's he's doing great stuff. A lot of people buy from him. He sells a lot to Ola May, Everly,
okay.
Fairmont. I think the Fairmont's his biggest customer. But he's got great beef, and he's doing great stuff. I've met him at the hotel, met him through Chef Chad and stuff, and we've done a lot of stuff with him, a lot of events and such. And it's the first time that I've been able to have a relationship like that with somebody who rears cattle. One thing's buying beef from a Lone Star, from a middleman, then going to the source that's raising it, and so it's been real eye opening, real neat. He's a great guy, but we've thrown the idea around at times after a few whiskeys, of putting something together, and something definitely meat centric, and there's nothing like that in the city. There's not a lot like that in the country for that matter, but. Something like a meat temple, where the meat reigns supreme. Good pastas and good fish, some great wines, but
So you've thought about this.
Some amazing stuff aging in the cellar and that kind of stuff. Some really neat wines pouring out of the glass out of double magnums, and just something not snooty. That sounds snooty, but not something approachable. Not steakhouse. It's more of a restaurant, but with just some amazing Texas beef,
Yeah, it's kind of sounds like with the aging and stuff, you're tying in all this new, it's not new, but the kind of butchery.
Yeah, butchery's taken off.
But it's old.
The last 10 years, yeah, you're right. When I cut meat,
it's a resurgence.
Yeah. When I started cutting meat, it wasn't cool to cut meat. There was no, there were no guys with beards and
There's
sleeves
a time where it's frowned upon.
It was like carpentry or plumbing, right? And I found it fascinating. It was fucking neat,
Oh yeah,
and
that's my great grandfather, my grandfather's knives up there.
Wow.
Yeah, I got to show you those.
That's fucking neat, man.
Sorry, we're talking about this. Yeah, he just gave me those recently. He's a butcher his whole life.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
In
Yeah.
Chicago?
Yes.
Yeah, so he cut some meat. Chicago,
Yes,
yeah.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's told me stories about how he saw how the meat would be pink and it would change color.
And once oxygen hits it.
And then he saw the time when it stopped changing color because they started like,
all the junk in the meat,
yeah, they started, whatever they started doing to it,
Yeah.
So there was a time when they wanted the meat to stay looking pretty, and he remembers that.
Yeah,
It's interesting to hear.
But your grandfather worked with carcasses on rails, and that's hard work, man. That's,
yeah,
it's tasking.
yeah, and
That's neat, man.
he's still kicking it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like 90, 96, 97.
because he worked hard all his life,
And he is like, if you go talk to him, you can have a full conversation with him.
Yeah,
He will kind of have some moments there, but you can definitely get away with having a whole conversation with him, and it's interesting. Just do not let him talk about model airplanes. That's
You're
the
in
key.
for a long one, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All nighter.
Man, yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Don't be shy.
So I've listened to a few of your podcasts, and it's what you do for a living, right? That's how we met. You come by the hotel. You make sure the cooks are taken care of.
Yeah.
I'm always in your truck seeing if I can find something to buy because
little candy shop.
Yeah. So
Chef Candy Shop.
one thing I haven't heard a lot is knife talk.
I know.
And now that you bill it as it's not the type of podcast. It's abroad, and like you told me when we started, nothing's off limits and stuff. But I remember thinking I'm definitely going to try to do some knife talk with Jason because I'm a knife nut. And
pick my brain about knives.
And just I mean, you see more knives than I do, and just to get your perspective. You're a professional sharpener, and they've got these crazy metals nowadays, the HAP 40s, the ZDP 189s, all this stuff that what's
ZDP 189. Man, I remember that steel. I don't know, like when it came about, but I sure remember getting a knife in that ZDP 189, and it was way more money. I was so into it. It was a Giotto. It was like, I think it was like a 240. Oh man, the name is like on the tip of my tongue. But with these Japanese names, I'll never. But it had like a fitted saya, like a friction fit saya, Damascus blade, and I remember the whole. It's gonna hold its edge. 67 Rockwell, and I was like a kid in a candy store when I got that thing, and I spent like $500 on a 240.
How'd that work out for you?
It was interesting. I was using it, to cook with. You know what I mean? Like to actually, like a workhorse. I wanted to sharpen it and use it. And we're talking about $500 knife, and the whole idea, going into it, sharpening it, it's going to take longer.
Yeah, that's hard metal, eh?
It's hard metal. I really think at the time, just from my personal experience with that steel in particular, that I don't think I knew how to sharpen it properly, because I remember I sharpened it, but I remember it didn't hold its edge the way it was like praised.
The way it should have, yeah.
Right. Because if you research the ZDP 189, it's going to be hard to sharpen. It's going to hold its edge for a long time, but it didn't. And it drove me crazy because, obviously $500.
Yeah, you got expectations with a knife like that.
Yeah. But at the same time, I've had like blue steel where I've sharpened that, and blue steel will sharpen quicker because it's a carbon steel. But it took me forever to do the initial sharpening, and I was probably resetting the bevel. But when, I had to sharpen it twice. But, from then on, it was good. But,
Yeah.
It may have been a similar situation.
We talk about it at work all the time. Like, I don't rock factory bevels. My exec, Gil's the same way. Like,
we've talked about it.
First thing I do when I get a knife in the mail, that EMS package from Japan, the stone's already soaking, right? Because not that it comes with a bad edge from your good manufacturers, but it's just not what, everyone's particular to the edges that they want. But, I'm big on white steel, white 2, white 1. Nothing gets as sharp as that
You
It
like
doesn't.
that? You do a lot of stuff with the fish and the meat, though.
Yeah. I mean, for meat, if fish, I'm using Japanese knives, but for meat, I stick to my Victorinoxes.
Okay.
My
That's
my
that,
wood handle.
That's that grassroots and that butchery
Yeah. I mean,
from Central Market.
it might not be as good as a steel as a white too, but it's a decent steel. It's a soccer
You've got
steel.
the Victorinox. You've got guys coming on my truck, old timers. They swear by that.
They're good knives.
They are good knives.
Like not just the meat knives, but I've got chef knives, 8 and 10 inches.
Yeah. Well, they've got the rosewood handle ones. Even the material of like the commercial, it's got like a softness to it. The plastic, I don't know what it is, but it's different than.
They're just really good knives, and they last. That's what I prefer for meat. But for vegetables, fish, that kind of stuff, it's something Japanese usually.
Yeah, nice thin blade.
Yeah. Nothing is as sharp as white steel.
And we've talked about, we pronounce it differently, but Takeda.
Takeda, yeah.
Takeda. I've heard some interesting things about him lately.
I've heard some bad stuff about him lately.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I've heard some bad stuff about him. Chipping, knives breaking. I heard he's welding the blades to the tang. So that's why a lot of these knives are breaking. And
see, because I had heard, it's funny that we're hearing all this because, and I may have told you this when I heard this, I thought he was retiring.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
I haven't bought a Takeda since I was in Nevada. It's been a while, but
they're such. I mean, okay, forget what's happening right now. Those are the best knives. The only single problem you might have is the way the grind is. It's a very interesting grind with the Karuchi finish on most of the blade.
Well, Takeda's like a lot of those Japanese knives. They're hollow ground. So you got this guy with this 3-foot stone, and they put the blade and fix. So it's not convex. So when you get these knives, it looks like there's one bevel where the AS is, right? Where like the good steel is, and it's not one bevel. You've got to go in there at different angles. It's hollow ground then convexed,
right?
But that's
and the difference between the hollow ground. The hollow ground is more. Oh, how would you say?
It's got like shoulders. It's got like shoulders, which add a little strength.
And convex is more like a V.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you describe it.
Think of like an axe or a meat cleaver or something thick.
But that steel, that blue, super blue he uses.
He uses Aogami Super. I might be butchering it, but yeah.
It's sharp and
that stuff.
So good.
It deburrs easily.
So good.
Once you get an edge on there, that's what made his knife so popular. I mean, there's nothing fancy about them, but it's just good steel that are made to last.
It's funny. I don't think I've heard many people say this, but if you take like a big old cheap Dexter, you know what I mean, or something, he literally like made his knives like that. I don't think he did it after that, but it's just like a big, thick,
I've seen some of his knives that, I mean, I wouldn't buy one of those, but yeah, they're a little.
Well, I had we talked a little bit before we got online here about the Mark Richmond and Chef Knives to Go, and I told you I used to call him. That's how I knew that I could call, but I called and they would send me pictures of the knives they had in stock, and they'd let me choose. They had like a 210 that was measured at 220, or it was measured at 200, and the height was blah 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 blah. And
Chef Knives to Go.
Good people.
It's they were really the first. I think
he's awesome.
First retailer to offer the array of stuff that he has. Where there's JNATs, these odd stones from mines that haven't mined since the 70s. He's got them for sale. He's
goes
got some
to
knives.
Japan.
Yeah, he goes to Japan and deals with these blacksmiths and
once
stuff.
a year.
Yeah, prior to that, places like Corn, which is Corn Mutual Trading Company.
Chubo, you seen that?
Chubo's fairly new, but like Japanese woodworker, they've been around for a while. I've bought a lot of stones from them.
But
Epicurean Edge out of Oakland.
With all these, let's take all these websites, because I always hear them getting tossed around. But my experience with Chef Knives to Go has been so good.
Yeah.
Is that the go-to for you?
No, I bought a few things from them. I haven't bought a lot of knives from 'em. More stones, stone holders, felt pads, accessories, and such.
Where's your go-to?
I get a lot of stuff from Japan.
You
I've
go
got
order
Koki.
direct. Okay.
I've got Koki.
Well,
at,
that's different.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with Koki out of Japanese chef knives. Koki Wahara out of, I want to say Sakai.
Okay.
But bought my first knife from him. And it's probably 15 years ago, 14 years ago. And there's a lot of stuff on his site that if he doesn't carry, he can locate for you in Japan. And I think him and his sister run that place. But yeah, he's got phenomenal stuff. He carries Mizuno Tarenjo, which is one of my favorite blacksmiths in all Japan. They make amazing stuff. He's got the Masamotos and Hiramotos and glass stain, Misono, all that stuff. Yeah, Koki can get you whatever you want. He's a joy to work with. Free shipping, and it's at your house in 7 days. So
wow.
Yeah.
Jesus, from Japan.
From Japan, yeah.
Oh,
from Sakai City or Sakai, something like that.
Dude, that's I got to look at that. I've had so I've always gone through like Chef Knives to Go. I've ordered obviously through other random places, but never direct from Japan. I've had a buddy who's done it, but like he had a good experience too.
There's a mafia with that sector of of cutlery here in this country, as far as the Japanese blades and I don't know Mark. I've heard things and seen things, but you got Japanese knife import out of LA, I believe, and they're pretty bad at that. You got guys that go out and meet these not too well known blacksmiths in Japan who are turning out knives at this price, and they bring them over here. They put a kanji stamp or two on them, call it a different name, and mark them up 400%.
Chef Knives to Go. Mark had a line of knives, the Richmond, and I mean, I saw a lot of things on his site that were very questionable that I would see a Kohetsu with, but it was the same as this, and then like his brand with, and that was the same, and you're just kind of like mixed, I'm like, what are we getting?
Yeah, it's
but I see that you just stamp the kanji here and you're good to go.
There's a lot of blacksmiths in Japan that aren't getting their due, and that's unfortunate because
that is unfortunate.
There's not a bunch of kids apprenticing trying to learn this trade. And you're in front of this oven all day that's at 2,000 degrees, and you're beating stuff.
Have you ever forged anything like that?
No, I've never forged anything. I've never been in Japan.
I know this is a little. I mean, we're talking about some blades here, and I appreciate that, but it kind of reminds me of people working in the kitchen a little bit because a lot of these guys don't even they're getting paid. Shit, and they don't get any recognition for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going on here in Austin.
Oh, everywhere.
It's been going on in San Francisco for years, and I've had kids that cook for me and quit and go, listen, I can make the same or more money driving Uber or Lyft.
Well, yeah,
he's got a kid and a wife at home. Like,
no,
I can't be mad at the kid. Like, do what's best for you, but it's just unfortunate that there's people who strive in this business and it doesn't sustain because.
Well, what makes it so bad is like you might have the future like you or like a future really excellent chef, but because of what we're paying him, and he's got circumstances, he says, "Look, I love cooking, but in order to pay the bills today, I can't. I got to do Uber."
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, Austin's one of those cities where you could probably get by without a car depending on where you live and where you work.
You can. I got a girl down on Fifth Street. She doesn't drive.
Yeah, but if she worked and goes to school in the area, right? But for someone like you and me, it'd be hard, right? So it's jobs here pay what they pay, and it's with the cost of living rising, and Austin's not as cheap to live in as it was in the past. And yeah, I'm a strong proponent for at least here in Austin, trying to get our guys, what they're worth. And,
oh, yeah.
In Las Vegas was the opposite. Your guys make good money. I mean, most of those places are union houses, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
I remember when I left Wynn, I mean, my cooks, cook one was making $21 an hour.
Jesus, that's good
You know,
money
so
for a cook.
it's great because they can have a life. They can own a home,
I love it. I mean,
put their kids through school. I mean, most of these cooks I got, none of them. I think very few to none own their home. Few got cars.
I see so many cooks. I mean, because
most work 2 jobs. Like,
2 jobs.
they
is a
have
big
to,
thing.
not because they're trying to save money, or they have to, and that's unfortunate.
It's a bummer, man. Especially when you consider what some. I mean, because it can be a job, and anybody can become complacent, and I don't mean that complacent in a negative sense. I just mean it becomes a job, like you're doing the motions. Just because you're throwing hot pans in an oven and all that stuff. But that stuff is hard. And if you're a chef, you're creative and you're managing people, and that's a little bit different. But they should be getting paid more.
It's still hard work, but yeah, they should definitely. Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely hard work.
I was having this conversation with
It's
Gil.
a skill.
I think last week, and it's like something's got to give. Like I'm all for the servers getting taken care of, but I mean, I feel like everybody should eat.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel in this city. Like the kitchen staff always gets the short end. So, and that's coming from me. Like I work at one of the busiest, bigger hotels, and our wages competitive. Yeah, it depends who you ask, right? I don't think they're competitive enough, but that's my opinion. And a lot of the places in the city, and I get it from both sides, from the operator's point of view, cook's point of view, and it is what it is. I mean,
well, listen, this here, I've not been very good about how I want to put the podcast as what the whole end goal is. People ask me, what are you trying to do, right? But I am trying to shine a light into like what it's actually like to be in the field as a cook, and I mean specifically in Austin, right? I mean, because that's where we're doing this, and like those points there may be pivotal points where people listening to this can maybe understand that. You know what I mean? And like, it's not healthy for somebody to have to work 2 jobs and be doing. And when I was saying, throw hot pans in the oven and blah blah blah, I'm not degrading what the job is.
No. I get it.
It is a skill. It is a trade. It is not easy. Even if your job is to roast potatoes till they look golden brown, whatever. That's not. That's a trade.
A good cook, and it actually has nothing to do with actually cooking, but a good cook will make a good construction worker, a good soldier, a good.
It's like a consistency,
whatever you want to put in front
right?
of it. Yeah, it's just attention to detail, grit. They care.
Absolutely.
All the values that make a good cook. It's if I mean these guys and gals can do anything they want, and this is what they choose to do, and yeah, we fall short, I think, in really delivering what they should be compensated. So hopefully it'll turn around sooner and later, because I think of this industry 10, 20 years from now, in this country at least, and just think about where it's going, and it makes you scratch your head sometimes. So.
Well, I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean,
without getting too deep.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't staff properly,
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think with the rate that we're going in this country? Forget the industry, just like as a whole.
In this country, I mean,
and I'm talking about big picture, big question here. What do you think? Where do you think we're headed towards?
I couldn't tell you that, Jason.
Yeah.
I feel like any city, any state has its infrastructure, and it's got its capacities like anything. And
right.
I think once you surpass that, nothing good's gonna rise. So it's just a matter of being smart. And people talk about overpopulation and stuff. I'm not sure what that is, if it even exists. But I mean,
I don't think it does.
People
keep fucking, people keep coming.
Yeah. But something's got to give also. I mean, there's.
But I just listened to something earlier where it was kind of funny the way he worded it, that everybody's kind of focused on like the news, the media, almost like a junk food cycle.
Well, that's nothing new, yeah.
No, it's nothing new, but it's what we're doing.
It's worse now. People with the the phones and the social media. Think back before. Think back when you had a razor. A phone that was just a phone. Like you. Now it's nuts now.
You and me could reminisce about that. There's so many people listening to this,
and
who it may be totally foreign.
And I'm not trying to sound old or sound like that uncle, right? And take it how you hear it, but yeah, it's just I think back to then, and
I remember. This is what this is my memory ingrained in my. I'll spit it out there. I remember going to a landline. I'm going downstairs. It was at my folks' house, and calling a girl. I still remember her name. I remember her address. I remember her phone number. Calling her up.
Nice gal, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Calling her up, telling her I was coming home. And I had to get on a bike or something, and I went over there. But there was nothing in between there. And I got there, and I think I either... There was times where I was throwing a rock at the window or I was ringing the doorbell. But you can't really replace that. I'm coming over because now I'm 5 minutes out. I'm 2 minutes out.
It beats
I'm
a
in the
text
driveway.
message, yeah.
I'm coming to the door. Where are you? Ding dong.
Yeah,
It's okay, but there's something to be said.
Yeah, people are definitely swayed by all that stuff.
Well,
there's guys that can tell you the starting lineup of the Cowboys, but you ask them who the senator is, and
right.
Well,
I was kind of we're focused on other things, regardless if it's down to the fact that we all have a smartphone. Our priorities right now are you got that?
Nah, don't worry about it.
Our priorities as a country. I don't know. There's not a bigger picture at play here. And that's why I was just saying, what do you think is going to happen when we got all these guys slaving? Because
it's pretty interesting times here in the U.S. of A.
Yeah, I would agree.
I grew up on Army bases. I'm as patriotic as the next guy.
Your father's still kicking it?
He was Army, I don't know, 25 years or so, and that kind of stuff. He's retired now, but
he's still
yeah, he's still with us. I see him every week. We have a couple of whiskeys and stuff. I love the old man.
Love that. That's good.
But I grew up in that that military household kind of
yeah,
and it's pretty interesting times we live in. So
I agree.
Pretty interesting. So not to mention the climate change and all this other stuff, but that's a different conversation. We could talk about that all night. But
I was going to say,
it's definitely interesting what we're experiencing, and what's going to happen, we'll see. So
we will see. But for the time being, Austin, we're here. You're treating how are the cooks getting treated over at OP?
I take care of my guys. Me and all the chefs. Yeah, we take care of our guys. We're nothing without them, and
I tell
we can't do what we do without them. And
we got off the knives too. We got off the knives real quick there.
Yeah.
But when I go to OP, when I go to JW, I'm telling you, man, I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying it. I love going there. You guys, the hospitality is through the roof.
Thank you.
Anybody who's looking for work, you guys are looking for cooks. Jesus.
Yeah, we have fun. It's hard work and stuff, and but we like to have fun and keep it light, and when it's crunch time, it's crunch time, and we got a good group of guys, and it's funny. We were talking about restaurants here in Austin. I've had a lot of good meals here. I've had some meals that weren't so memorable.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's something funny about this town when it comes to restaurants, because you think of the smaller markets in this country, like Nashville and San Diego, and they've got some places that are really there's a lot going on here, but I don't know.
You think we're lacking?
I wouldn't say we're lacking, but a lot of these places I go to, if and I'm not here to insult or mention names, put anyone on blast, but there's a certain price point where there are expectations, right?
Yeah.
Like if I spend $400 or $500 on dinner with my wife in Manhattan somewhere,
You expect something.
I have a good experience, right? And I spend that much here.
Look, we've
and it's
talked
not,
about
it's not
that.
so much the case. So, like, you know, if you're listening, like I said, I'm not going to mention names, but, you know, regardless of how your place looks and whatever accolades you have, like, look at your product, because, I mean, I've had some great meals here that warranted that, and I've had some to where, you know, more recently than not, to where I go, ooh.
Yeah.
And I just, and it's nothing personal, it's nothing but just, I think of it as far as the city, as just as a market, like, what does that say, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, we want to be able to stand up and stand proud.
We should.
Yeah. We don't want to be able to, like, you know, right. I mean, I think what you're saying is you can't at the current time. We've talked about this. I don't know if you heard, you know, and he keeps coming up, and this was episode 7 was Philip Crossley from Counter Cafe.
Philip Crossley. I don't think I've heard that one. I'll make it a point.
Well, please listen. He's actually going to come back. He's really soon, like 2 weeks out. He's already scheduled, but he brought that up, man. The prices just kind of.
So it's not just me.
No,
it's not just me. I'm not being negative. I'm just being a realist because
he's been here for a minute. He said that we are paying fine dining prices,
but we're not getting
for
that.
normal things.
I've got one of my colleagues.
He worded it different.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He's
One of my colleagues, one of the corner sous chefs, the other restaurant at the Marriott, Chris. He had dinner maybe a month or so ago with his lady. You know, I'm not going to mention the name, but it was they chose to have the tasting menu for both of them, and he's telling me that they brought them each course family style.
Oh.
And that's mind blowing to me. I've never seen or heard that. And
you said that
he
the
paid
tasting or the chefs.
It was a tasting menu. It was you know, 4 or 5 course tasting menu.
Okay.
But you know, he was a bit thrown off. It wasn't as you know he was expecting this, and what he got was for what he paid. And it's like, regardless of the verbiage on your menu and this and that, like it's. If you're charging that price, you have to deliver. Yeah. And like I get it, you know, you're paying X amount per square foot, and you got to keep the lights on, but that's where you come in as an operator. Like, hey, you know, maybe this higher end stuff, you know, maybe how's this working? Do we, you know, maybe tailor it down to a little more a la carte or
right? No, there's
revamp it and make it work to get, you know, whatever the situation is. But I've experienced that a lot. I go to places and some of the places, you know, some of these places winning James Beard Awards, that not just in Austin but in other parts of the state, that I hear nothing good about, and it's just disheartening. I mean, Austin ought to be. It's funny because the March of Dimes event that I mentioned earlier at the hotel last year, there wasn't a lot of camaraderie. At least I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I think back to Las Vegas every April, May, around this time of year, we do the Bon Appetit. It's the biggest culinary event in the city, usually done at the Cedars. Lord knows where they do it now. And like Guy Savoy and fucking Alain Ducasse, all these, you know, like the chefs were there. But it was a big event for the city nonetheless. A lot of it for charity and such. But you'd see these chefs just hanging out like they were brothers. You know, no ego, no animosity. They compete against each other on a daily night, but you know, these guys just hanging back and sipping champagne. And I think back to this event, we did a photo shoot or something, and everybody was it was really standoffish. Nobody was talking. There was and it's like, it's Austin, man. Like, what are y'all doing? I don't see that interaction.
Man, I'm gonna tell you that what you're bringing up here is, I have 100% full intention of continuing to do these podcasts, and everything that's been said on this podcast keeps getting kind of, you know, the things come back up.
Well,
I'm grateful that you're touching on points that are like maybe some things that need to be addressed, because I mean, I love Austin, but I kind of want to ask you. It can't directly relate to the population increasing, but can it? Like, is there something I guess maybe I might not be thinking about it the right way, but like when I see like what you're describing here, I think I see that like on a regular basis.
That's good to hear, Jason, because that lets me know I'm not, it's not just me. But it's really just unfortunate to me. It's a small
Well,
community.
you're opening a door here for conversation, please.
I hope that's the case, but it's a small community, and I hope, I don't know. I hope some point in the future we can be more. There's not a lot of bread breaking, not a lot of events that we do here together. There's the food and wine we had a few weeks ago, and like that's.
You attend that?
No, us as a hotel is just not lucrative. It's mind blowing to us. I was talking with Chef Chad about that a few weeks ago. Like these restaurants that do that, like I don't know, maybe they write it off and write off the labor, but it's just nuts what they're charging for you to get in there. And
it's like $300 for a day or six.
No, it's more than that. Well, for the guests, for the guests, they're like $400 a day. Yeah. But for the chefs that are attending, they have to pay. It's not, you know what I mean? And it's nuts, man.
I'm not going to say who, but somebody, he was intrigued and he invited me to come. Mm-hmm. And then, I thought it was going to happen for a second there. And then he was like, well, they're being stingy with tickets. And I was like, yeah, when you look at the price of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's a good time and all. You drink some good wine and eat some amazing food. But just like, it needs to be more approachable. Because who really has, that'd be like, $800 for you and your lady to go. Like,
well, it's crazy money. Crazy money. When you spend $800 to go to an event like that, I mean, you really walk in the door. Number one, you're instantly broke. It takes away from the whole, luxury of being there because of what you paid. But, it also it amplifies what you're supposed to be there to do so much because you paid so much. It takes away from like, we paid to get in here. We're going to do this. And
yeah, I wish there were more events like that for the city, for the people of Austin, where the chefs could really, whether they're nonprofit or not, whatever, but just for the chefs and for the guests, because there's good cooks, there's good chefs in the city, and the more you know, the better, and just.
Well, I know
having some dialogue with these guys. There's no animosity. There's no egos. There's no chef in Austin. There's no, there's no fucking Ducasas or Baloo's or Kellers here. Like, come on, we're all. There's good chefs here. Some have had better luck. Some have had, whatever. There's good chefs, but there's, in my opinion, there's not enough interaction, not enough bread breaking, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not a connection the way there should be.
There's not. I think back to like all those French chefs in Las Vegas. Like they all worked at different hotels and they literally competed against each other. But these guys, you'd see them. It's like they were brothers and cousins. Like they'd cut back and you'd hear the stories and it's like, wow, that's fucking neat. And here,
I mean,
I don't know any other chefs that if they don't work at the JW, I don't know any other chefs in the city.
Maybe we all kind of seem a little separated in a way.
That might be the case. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think a lot of that is just ego, man. Like, just pretentiousness and attitude, and like, at the end of the day, like, come on,
Well, you also brought up South by, and you said it's it's a great event for
the city. I don't care if you run a food truck, a hot dog stand, a hotel, or restaurant.
So, but you said this about these, food and wine. We need another event. I had a guy at Irene's. I talked to him this morning. He said all these guys in the service industry, they just get completely shafted for all of these events. Like they serve everybody who comes to Austin, and there's always something. Like we got South by ACL, then we got whatever it is. There's always something coming. Even if you go down to Mother's Day.
F1, MotoGP, ACL, like you said.
And we're serving, not me, but, we're serving. And the guys in the industry don't like, there's like service industry day, like once a year, whatever it is. But there's not. When he said that to me, I was like, it's such a good point. And it makes me wonder when you say, food and wine, that's like that time. Mm-hmm. And you're like, but we need something more. So, my wheels are turning here, thinking like what he said, what you're saying, that specific event to, unite chefs.
There's a flip side to that coin. When you look at the cook's perspective in this town, that's something to address also. You've got a lot of cooks that aren't developing, aren't growing as they should because of
the
what's around and how much of it, right?
You mean because they keep getting slammed? And then
It just what's out there. Like, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of the same stuff out there. Like, you know, if you're a young cook and stuff, and it's hard to do the rounds. You know, so you know, after you live frugally for a year, you know, you're getting paid dog shit because you want to work at, I don't know, MRI, whatever the fuck, right? Like, it's just a matter of time for, you know,
right.
And I see that with my cooks. You know, there's only so much we can give them to where I think back to when I was a cook. You know, I was seeing so much every day. I was seeing so much, and it was a lot to take in. But I knew at the time that was special. I'm like, wow, that's, you know, that's not something I want to see every day. I should learn that. I should write that down, or, you know, make a memory of it. And here I see a lot of redundancy. See a lot of redundancy with places.
I think it's very fitting to like this conversation we're having, and I'm trying to, you know, think about things and piece things together. Redundancy is, I think it's a good word for
just like playing styles. I see a lot of the same styles, and I'm not judging. Like, everybody's got their cool, but when, like,
no, you don't even.
I see a lot of the same stuff around. Like, it just makes you go, like,
yeah.
Is everybody reading the same books? Is everybody trying to do the same? You know, like what's?
Yeah, and then that it's this where I feel like I'm going off the deep end when I'm like, well, maybe it is like that. You know, everybody's got their smartphone, and maybe everybody is reading the same damn book, and you know, like we're all, you know, because we a minute ago we were talking about. Well, I was talking about, you know, calling from a landline and going to see a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And maybe we need to get more back to like a more like romantic time.
Possibly. I don't know what the answer is, but it's just, you know.
So, that's why I said I'm off the rails with the way I'm thinking. Like, I can't pinpoint how I want to. I have no answer.
Yeah, this sounds funny, man. It's just, there's great produce here, great livestock. Texas. You know, Texas is making good wine and stuff. They're really gaining ground on that, and it's.
What about the whiskey? We need a whiskey
sponsor
here.
It's good whiskey coming out of Texas.
What about the still?
The still, I never heard of the still
whiskey.
Still whiskey, no.
Okay.
We had the guys from. They're out of Dallas. Oh. They do the bourbon. They've got
1835.
Is it 1835? They've got a different color, like boot leather, on the cap.
Oh yeah, it's like a red, right?
It might be TX whiskey. Is it TX whiskey?
We had the 1835. They're out of Dallas.
I've had 1835. That's good hooch. I believe they did a special reserve barrel for us for the hotel.
No.
Like some of my front of the house managers went out there.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it's them. But
regardless, we need a good whiskey sponsor on the podcast.
I'm gonna have one of my guys talk to some vendors, and maybe we can, you know, figure something out.
Well, see what they say.
Get some Texas bourbon out here.
Texas bourbon. I can guarantee this: anybody who becomes a sponsor and there's a whiskey, we'll be talking about it 2 seconds in.
Yeah.
Every time, right?
It's not hard to get some booze sponsor, you know. We just got to find a way, you know. So.
Oh yeah, I think if I'm right, we were off. We're talking about Austin. We're talking about the whole scene.
Yeah, the scene here it's always been a bit intriguing to me.
I was telling you that it's become a conversation. I don't know how many podcasts you personally got to listen to, but there's a lot of podcasts. Mm-hmm. It's a lot to ask for somebody to listen to them all, but
I'll get to it, yeah.
Anybody who is listening, it kind of creates a conversation, and some of the things that you brought up I'm definitely bringing back up. Because I keep doing that. I keep bringing up important points that people have touched on. And I think the points that you have touched on are not the, maybe some of them aren't the pretty points, and like in such a good way. We're not gonna change or make anything happen that we want to see happen as chefs, as cooks, as people in the industry, unless we address it. And the only way to address it is to call it out.
I think the conversations, they're definitely not comfortable, but like this is what I do for a living, so it's important to me. And, yeah, it's quite
I
a bit.
respect that.
It's quite a bit alarming, and I just I'm not sure. I've never been in this predicament. I'm not sure how to but like I don't know. Something's got to give. I mean there's no reason why Austin shouldn't be really up there, and
Yeah.
like the James Beard Awards were a few days ago. Not just Austin, Texas got snubbed. And there's some good food in Houston. It's amazing food coming out of Houston. Some really good people down there doing stuff. You ask me, that's the best food in the state. It's good food here in Austin. People doing good stuff, and every year we so not that that's the barometer, the measuring stick or anything, but
we have more to offer.
We have a lot to offer, but I don't know, a lot of
I think we have more to offer, but it requires a little bit of understanding and unity as chefs and cooks. I mean, because there's not going to be. It's hard to put into words, but you're not going to go and love what you eat unless, because there's a backstory behind what you're eating, and if the chef isn't kicking it with the chef down the street, it's just not cool. I mean, it's a small community. We should definitely be intertwined and stuff, and if anything, help each other out, and to push the industry forward. And the day's gonna come where we're gonna have to come together to make changes for us, for our guys and stuff. And now's not the time. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's very odd. Like I said, I've thought about it numerous times. I don't know how to go about it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, look, we get caught up talking about this because it's not an easy subject to talk about.
Well, sometimes those subjects that aren't that easy to talk about are the most vital ones, right? Those are the ones that really need to tackle.
Yes.
And,
the fact that you're touching base on some of these things, believe me, it's important.
It's important to me. I mean, this is what we do for a living. Our lives are our career. Our careers are our life, and there's a lot of changes you can't make until other stuff gives, and that's, you look at cities like Chicago, L.A., and New York's New York, but there's a little bit of everything.
Right.
There's enough for everybody to eat,
Yes.
And I definitely feel like there's enough in Austin for everybody to eat. If everybody's going after the same,
that's true.
I mean, there's a lot of places I see go up, and it's like, how did you get anybody to invest in you?
Yeah.
And really young chefs, 24, 25-year-old executive chefs, and if you're a guru, I'll take my hat off to you. Good for you. If you can run a business and be profitable.
Well, I see a lot of what
if you can be profitable and do what you're doing, hey, I tip my hat to you, because at that age, I wasn't able to do that. If you can do that, awesome. But so much turnover with these restaurants,
Well, I mean, you'll see places pop up and go away, and the place can be great. I mean, I've specifically ate at a couple places that have been excellent, and then boom, they're gone. I mean, and there's got to be.
There's a lot of these restaurant groups in the city that they pull more revenue off real estate than they do operations. These places doing $2-3 million a year, not super busy, but enough to. They own the property, right? They sit on it 4 or 5 years. Maybe they break even on the food and beverage stuff.
Yeah,
but when it comes to the property taxes and the equity, and that's what they make the money on. They go to a bigger, and that's fine. That's cool. Right. Good for you, right?
That's more of the.
But as far as restaurants and food and wine and stuff here, these places that open for a few years and close, then a year later they open under. There's been chefs in the city, guys, that have, I wouldn't call them a scandal because it doesn't warrant that, but guys that had issues with the law or substances, alcohol, and they get past that, awesome for them, and then you see them opening a new place, and it's like, that's great, but there's guys in this town that'll probably never open anything.
Yeah,
they've kept their nose clean and worked their butts off, and but that's that's life, I guess.
Well, it is, and it's life right now, and I'll tell you this. What I'm doing right here, and I don't mean I mean we. I'm going to keep reiterating.
Yeah, you're the facilitator.
facilitator, but like bringing these points to light. I really hope that this can kind of bring about like some like openness,
just consciousness, just being aware.
Of being aware. I hope. I love the fact that maybe somebody can listen to their favorite chef and hear what he's got to say. But I love the fact that somebody can say, I do this, I love this, I got a family, this is what bothers me. And like maybe we get somebody else who comes in here and you'd be so surprised what happens when, oh, well, he said, man, this is my take on this. And then suddenly we've got a whole new kind of like an evolution of the way we're thinking about things. Who knows what we're going for? This is like a frequency for chefs to kind of get their shit out there and talk about some maybe issues that need to be addressed, and maybe for the bigger picture. You know,
some of the ones that I listened to, they were, they were great and all, man. But it was just real, you know. It was about you and them, and that's awesome and all. And I'm not trying to come here and stir shit up, but I don't know.
I know.
Like if I'm gonna talk to you, where people are gonna listen.
You've said that a number of times. I don't think like you don't need to. You know what? I don't.
If people are gonna listen, like I'm gonna speak about what I think is relevant and what bothers me with the state of the industry or the business in this city for me. And
listen, Chef Christian, you're at OP, at the JW, busy spot, respectable man. I think that amongst many other people, and I think what you're saying right now is, I really think if anybody's listening in here, they can truly relate. When we just take a step back and we look at where we are and what the current, I hate to use the word climate because it's overused, but in Austin, the current like climate for the restaurants and what we see popping up and going away, and
so many restaurants.
Whoever we are, when we're listening in on this, I think we can all kind of agree that maybe there's something that needs to be addressed, and maybe it is more of a connection or like a brotherhood, like a sisterhood, like everyone, cooks, chefs.
I'd love to meet up with other cooks and chefs, and I don't know, have coffee once a week. I think it's important. Come to my restaurant this week. We'll hang out for a few hours and cook and whatever. I'll go to yours next week, or there's just something, because right now there's nothing.
Yeah, you scare me when we're talking about this, because I've been telling people I want people to come on here, feel like it's an open place to talk, get away, do it, and we're getting into some more serious things, but. I've heard a couple of people say, oh, yeah, so-and-so won't come in here. And I've said, what makes Austin unique is that nobody's bigger than anybody to be able to come in and just have a conversation. And the people who think that, obviously you got to say, all right, well, you're too big for this, and you got to let them go. But I really want this to be an open connection for like chefs.
If you ever get a third mic up here, it'd be awesome for you to have two people up here.
There.
There you go. Yeah,
we had 3 people last night, so you can hear that.
You had a couple, no?
Yeah. It's live now.
I haven't heard it yet, but I saw the picture.
So she doesn't cook, but it's his fiance.
He's from
Peach Tortilla.
Peach, yeah.
He's an exec sous chef at the Burnett location.
Yeah, those guys you've interviewed, I don't know them, but they all sound dynamite, man. I'd buy them a cup of coffee any day. Great guys, like
good guys.
There's a stigma in this business about where have you worked, and like that does mean something as far as pedigree. But
you know what's funny? It does until you listen to, because where he's worked before this. He's worked a couple places, but before Peach Tortilla, he was at Chipotle.
I was at Whole Foods.
You were at Whole Foods, but you know what?
So yeah,
he was
it's not far fetched.
On that truck at Peach Tortilla, and now he's got the coolest. I keep learning about this Eric Silverstein from the Peach Tortilla, and I am beyond intrigued.
Who's Eric Silverstein?
He's the owner creator of Peach Tortilla, and now they have So they started with 2 food trucks.
Silverstein.
Eric Silverstein. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him right here. This is the cookbook.
There you go, Eric Silverstein.
Yeah, please thumb through it. But he 2 trucks, to brick and mortar to bar peached, and it was all literally an irony that I was having these guys come in here, and the cookbook came out, and I picked it up. I mean, I paid for that. It didn't look like I did. If you look at the social media, it looked like I just happened to, like I got it.
If I'm not mistaken, our ex culinary admin went to work for this company.
Yeah.
Siobhan, if you're listening, we miss you.
Siobhan Moore.
Oh, Siobhan Felix.
Okay.
She's a doll. She's a beautiful person. She's an
Moore.
amazing young lady.
I'm getting names mixed up. She went over there?
I think she went. Yeah, she
made such a good
Peach.
move.
Yeah, she's running HR over there. Is what she's doing.
Oh my God, that's such a cool company.
Yeah,
such cool people.
I haven't been there, haven't been around there, but from what you say, it sounds like she's in good hands.
She's in good hands.
Siobhan,
they're
shout
cool
out.
people.
We miss you. Yeah,
Hell yeah. I wonder where she went. You got Hannah now.
We got Hannah. Hannah's amazing too. Hannah's a good gal.
Hannah's a good gal, but
she's a handful, but she's a good gal. Yeah.
No, that's good to know. It's a small. See.
Yeah, you knew Siobhan. Yeah, Siobhan.
I did know Siobhan.
Tall, big eyes.
Yes, and now and even we're talking about the podcast, the cookbook, and Siobhan's. She's gone over there. We're a big city, but we're a small enough community.
Yeah.
Where nobody should have their nose in the air walking around.
You shouldn't. It's not that type of place. Nobody's doing that here, man.
And when we see that, I don't know. It's like you've raised some interesting topics here.
I'd love to do pop-ups. We spoke about it with Brittany. Brittany's one of the front of the house managers at Cedar Door, La Volpe. She does both. Brittany, I don't know her last name. She's like from Buffalo or something.
Yeah,
but she's awesome.
Shorter gal.
Shorter, glasses, brunette. Yeah.
Okay.
But me and Chef Chris from Corner were talking to her, a few weeks ago about doing some pop-ups at La Volpe. I think they're closed on Mondays or something.
Yeah.
And we cover the cost of everything. You come in, you set up, you execute. We'll figure out the marketing, and just doing that with somebody else, and just stuff like that. That was the kind of stuff I'd see in LA a few years ago.
Yeah,
that was real hot, and I don't see any of that type of stuff here in Austin. I don't see any.
I don't think we see the spark here.
No, I don't see anything extracurricular about what we do here. It's like,
you know what, man? I tell you, I'm turning you on to Chef Will at Cedar Door, and he's running the new spot, the
La Volpe. Yeah,
he's doing that now. He was doing Cedar Door, now he's doing that.
That's a nice joint. I haven't been in there yet. Some of my colleagues have. It's a nice joint.
I'll tell you, man,
it just sucks if they don't have any signage. Like
it's
like we know
small,
they're there because
right?
we see them every day.
Yeah.
But for like your average guest that walks by, like
it looks nice, right?
It's gorgeous. Yeah, small but very nice. Very nice.
That's
very well put together. Yeah.
But he may be listening.
Hey,
but I'm going to tell you, man, Chef Will's very cool. I should turn him on to you guys, especially when you're talking about doing something like the pop up.
Well, not just with them, but I mean, just having other, restaurants in the city. Like, hey, listen, there's a lot of Italian restaurants in the city, huh?
Yeah.
And it's
like what? Cipollina?
Like who?
Yeah.
The Cipolinas, the Vespaios, the Italics, the Red Ashes, all these places. Like,
oh yeah, wow, blue.
There seems to be this notion that like me, like I love sushi. I love going, fucking sitting down for 2 hours having a fucking omakase meal.
Right.
And I'm somewhat familiar with the components and such, but I would never even think about executing a sushi type. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you, man.
That's just not what I do.
Let me, to kind of put this in bold, what you're saying right now. I'm from Chicago, in the suburbs, and there's... even in the suburbs of Chicago, Italian food is going to be a prominent place. But there's not, you can find the pizza places and whatever, and you can find, pasta at pizza places. That's, nobody orders pasta from a pizza place typically. But, we have, one spot in the suburb I came from.
That's your go-to.
One spot.
That's your go-to, yeah.
It was either the go-to or you would actually say... the one true Italian spot that you would go to. And here, like you just said, Red Ash, Italic, and it's you named off all these places.
Love Red Ash. They got amazing food. Their pasta's not good. And
But you know,
people have this notion that they can, if you've never cooked Italian food before, all of a sudden.
Have you been to El Bruto?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I've not been there.
You gotta go.
But
there.
I've been to a few of these places. A lot of them I haven't been to, but I haven't had really good pasta in this town.
Go to El Bruto.
And for the amount of Italian restaurants we have, Il Bruto.
Yes.
Where's that at?
6th Street.
6th and what? East.
It's the east side.
East 6.
Was that Chicone? No, come on, no.
I'll definitely check them out. But yeah, I just haven't had.
It's by Kamiri Tatsuya.
Okay.
Across the street.
Okay, I know where that's at, yeah.
By La Mata.
I just haven't had good pasta in this town. I've had good pasta in New York and Chicago.
I know
LA
a guy.
And
yeah, I'm sure.
Here, like, all these Italian restaurants and like
I had a guy.
They're all shit, man. Like, yeah, we do all our pasta. We've got some good machinery back there. Got a good extruder, a good sheeter. It's just like a lot of the people that I see that are trying to do Italian food in the city. When I see what they did before, it wasn't Italian. Like,
yeah,
and that's what gets me.
Well, it's funny when I tell you that I came from a place where Italian food is like ingrained in the culture, and there's one spot.
That's my thing. Like all the chefs I worked for prior to moving here, they were all French or Italian, mostly Italian, and Churko and Wynn and Sinatra and all those guys, and it's a totally different mindset. The European, the Italian from out there versus one over here, and it's people have this mindset to where like, okay, I think I can do pasta because I can make a ravioli or sheet some noodles, and there's so much more to it than that. And not to draw it out to be a science or anything, but there's there's a right way, like anything. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it, and like if you haven't been taught how to cook that genre of food properly, don't try to do it. Like
Right.
I don't know, sell tacos or
yeah. Well, I mean, Italic is under
food.
like a restaurant group with like 24 Diner and
yeah, and all those places are great, but I mean.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying when it's opened under a restaurant group, it's not like it's being, opened by somebody who's been properly trained to.
But no, they've got to have good chefs on board. No.
Yes, it's Chef Andrew. Drew.
I know Chef Andrew. Yeah,
I desperately tried to talk to him today.
I met him.
He's good people.
He used to run Arrow up there off 6, I think, and I met him when he was running that, and I trailed over there for a day and stuff, and it just didn't work out. But yeah, good guy, man. Good guy.
I was there.
His wife was.
Yes, his wife is with him there.
Was the pastry shop. Yeah,
I think it's the same thing now.
Yeah,
it was the same thing. I left there. I made a mistake with invoice or something, and then I came back and is Andrew here? Where is he? No, because I wanted to talk to him about this, but he'd be great on here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you'll have a shortage of guests to have on the show. I mean.
No, there's not. There's not. Yeah, my wheels are cranking about the direction. It's like I said, there's an ongoing conversation that's having because it seems to be that people who are coming on here listen. Because they want to know what they're
and know what to expect.
And now they're 16, 17 episodes in with you.
Yeah.
They got a lot to catch up on. So even if they listen to the last few, I really believe me, I will, and I have a tendency to kind of talk about previous podcasts, and this podcast is the kind of podcast that I like because we're talking about things that need to be talked about. Yeah, and it's like I said, it's not like a, hey, Austin's great because this.
Yeah. I mean, you could bring anybody on here to fucking sit barefooted with you and sing Kumbaya, but I'm. You work hard for a living, so do I. And,
I love that you brought this shit up.
You work with the industry that I'm in. You're a part of the industry. I mean, you cater to us. And, I just feel like it's right to just have those conversations, regardless of what approach is taken or who does what or not. But just having those conversations and just, making people think.
Yeah.
Making people think and speak to each other and really seeing, like, okay, my view of the city might be different than a 28-year-old sous chef who just got promoted, right? Who's only cooked in Austin or whatever the case is. But just overall, I think we can do better, man. I think like Austin food-wise is not on the map. Like fuck barbecue, fuck tacos. Like nobody's saying I'm gonna go to Austin because I want to eat here.
Right, yeah.
Like I go to New York because I want to eat at fucking.
Look at the only way.
Bernardin or French Chat, or go to fucking L.A., go to Providence, and there's nobody. I don't know, maybe Franklin's, maybe barbecue places, Lockhart, but like nobody's coming here going. Well, I've got to go to. I don't know. I don't want to say any names. I don't want to insult anybody, but it's not that type of city yet, and I feel like we have that to offer. I feel like with the agriculture and stuff that we have around here, great meat, great pork, great poultry being raised here, in not just Central Texas, but in Texas, and some good wines that are being made, amazing beers, like
amazing beers.
Yeah, amazing beers, man. There's got to be something that's got to give. Like Austin, like we could do better than this. I don't know.
You've said that it's got to give. Yeah. I think you think that's coming.
I hope.
I said, so I'm doing this podcast, Austin All Day. It's for chefs, by chefs, for everyone. Anyone in the Hill Country who wants to come eat in Austin, wants to go to OP, they can listen to.
Hey, come by, yeah.
Yeah, they can listen
to cook for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I'm really trying to connect a community of chefs to, I guess, when we're talking, think bigger, think about the bigger picture.
I mean, Austin's got so much going on, and we get all kind of people in this town, man. Say what you want, just with the university and ex-alumni
so many,
and these
right?
big games. The Austin Toros we're in Cedar Park, no.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on around the city. Just the industries that are here. There's always been money in Austin. There is money in Austin.
There definitely is.
This is a demographic. This is a type of person that's cultured and educated and well traveled, and they seek certain things. And I just feel like there's certain things that I experience when I go to other cities that I can't find here in Austin, and that's a shame.
I don't think that's just because you live here. I don't. I think that's because it's true that there's
it's got nothing to do with me. Yeah, just the fact that I live here and I can't,
certain things are lacking.
If it's my wife's birthday and I want to go out and have, fucking ounce of caviar with traditional service and a bottle of champagne, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Like if I want to go out and have some amazing fish, like we're in Central Texas, like we've got great meat, but we're not known for great fish. Where do I go to get some good fish?
Right. And I know I'm really reaching. Now I am reaching for the stars, but where I want to reach for the stars. But when you hear Chef Christian say this, be that guy. Who creates that atmosphere.
Well, I encourage anybody to reach out to me, man. Either, through you, come to the hotel. We can have a coffee, sit down and chat.
Oh, if anybody reaches out through me to get in hold of you,
we're
pulling up together.
I'm the most approachable person. I love to talk with you. If that's what you want to do, if you're a little upset about anything I said, we can take care of that too. But
what, Chef, I'm being honest, man. I think what you said was it's approachable in a very, humble approach.
Yeah.
Where you can think about it a little bit and you can say, maybe there's a point here. Maybe I don't agree wholeheartly.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something to be, touched on here.
Yeah. There's nothing special about me, Jason. I like you said, I spent the majority of my career in hotels. I was a day one guy at Win Encore. These are properties that at least the restaurants I was working in, like just the revenue we ran was astronomical, and not taking that into account the quality that we offer, the quality of food and service, and I just wish we could bring that type of level here to Austin, really, because people here deserve that. Like there should be places in this town where you can go and not have to worry about anything. I'm going to go here for 3 hours. I'm going to take my wife, and I don't care what it costs, but I'm going to have a sublime experience.
Yeah.
And everything's going to be perfect.
Right.
And that's not something I've experienced here in Austin. And we should be able to give that to people and really push that forth. And
yeah, no, I love this. Yeah.
yeah.
No. So, Chef Christian, thank you. You've brought to light some interesting topics that we can definitely rehash here.
Okay.
Believe me, it'll be tomorrow when I'm touching base on some of these.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming out here.
Sit on them and dwell on them, and that's just my perspective. You know, everybody's got their opinion, but yeah, thank you for having me. Big shout out to my guys at OP and at the hotel, and, Gil and Stefano and Z Nasty, all the guys and gals that hold OP down. My front of the house team, Chef Chad, big shout out to him.
Chef Chad,
Matt Head, my dude. Sarah from Corner holding it down over there, Greg Noble, all those guys, you know, good people out there. So, but yeah, thank you for having us. And yeah, man, I mean, anytime you're at the JW, you know your family out there. So,
oh yeah, you're gonna come back?
Yeah, I'd love to be back. Yeah,
come back.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta start doing stuff where we can sit down with, like, you know, two of us, like I said, and we can really talk some shit.
I got it. We did it last night.
There you go. Yeah.
We can even do 4. I was hesitant about 4 because I thought we might start talking over each other.
4 might be a bit much. Yeah. That's you know,
right.
People are starting to. But no, man, I had a great time, and it's very insightful having these conversations. A lot of them aren't easy. A lot of them aren't exactly productive, but they are constructive, and the positive.
That's well said.
They might be a little harsh on the outside, but you know, it's not about you and me. It's about the city and the craft, and like, yo, let's push it forward. And shit, shout out to my Salt and Time guys. They hold it down too. I don't know if you go out there, but
no, I go. I've been out there. Yeah, good people.
Yeah, those guys always doing right. Whatever I need from them, if I'm in a pinch.
It's all business.
Yeah. It's just good to have friends like that you can really, you know. So, but yeah, thank you for having me, man. You've been quite the host. Anybody that's pondering coming out here, Jason is quite the host. He'll take care of you. This guy's got, you know, 18-year Redbreast Irish whiskey out here and super microbrew beers. So, thank you for having me. Hopefully, it won't be my last time.
No, absolutely.
It was truly a pleasure. So.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
it's my pleasure. You got to come back.
Yes,
that's the key there.
Take my word on it. I'll be back.
You got to come back. Yeah. You've touched on some important things here. I'll rehash them. You come back here. I'll twist your arm. I'll get you.
And
back
I encourage
in,
anybody in the city, man. Like, let's have dialogue. Let's talk. I'd love to, you know, have lunch, have coffee. We can meet here. Like, I'll buy it. You know, I'll buy anybody a beer, and let's just have conversations and just.
No, we do. We have,
because we all have different experiences and expectations, and let's just, you know, talk and maybe I don't know, but I'm down for any of that stuff, and I'm all for the better of the industry in the city. We deserve more. We're doing a good job, but we need to be doing better.
No, I
don't care who you are. If you disagree, you're full of shit.
Right. No, Chef Christian's got the best perspective on this. I have the studio here for the Austin, you know, quote unquote Austin All Day podcast, you know, and I'm presenting it a certain way, but I have mics here where I can set up people here and I can leave the room. Like, if there's a conversation that needs to be had amongst people that I don't need to be a part of, like, that's what I'm trying to create an environment.
I don't think it'll get to that, but that's good to know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm saying, like, if it needs to be, you know, 3 guys, you know, just talking when I don't need to be here, then like that can be a podcast, you know.
But man, you know, big shout out to you, Jason. I mean, this is something. I don't know how you came about thinking about this and rolling
middle
it out.
Of the night.
Yeah.
Middle of the night.
I bet you woke up, you're like, what if I did a podcast? But
that was it.
Just think about how neat it is what you're doing. Nobody's doing this. As fucking in vogue and trendy as Austin is, and as super tech savvy as it is, and all this, like the culinary scene here, regardless of its state, it's huge. Nobody's thought of, like, hey, and this is a great medium for you to
from the research,
you know, tie
I've
people
done,
in
and from the research I've done, podcasts they're just at the tipping point of becoming cool, and everyone should know about them. And I can't believe that, because I've been into podcasts for a minute because I spend a lot of time alone. basically working. But I think this is the perfect opportunity for not only chefs to connect and get themselves out there, but for people to hear what it's like to
different perspectives. Yeah.
Well, you listen to what it's like to work on Easter Sunday, and you got a woman who's at home who could never imagine being away from her family.
Yeah.
And then you got the people who sacrifice that willingly, and then they end up loving it. You know, it's
people that go out to eat on those days don't think about like somebody's making that. You know, somebody's opening that bottle of wine. Somebody's cooking that piece of fish. You know?
That's what this is geared for. So,
yeah, but no, man, big shout out to you. Thank you for having me. What you're doing is amazing.
Thank you.
I really think you're a fucking Coke in the desert. I think you're gonna have a lot of success with this podcast, and you're gonna bring a lot of people together. And I hope I'm right.
Let's do it.
I hope I'm right.
It's us. It's not me. It's us.
Because it's a noble thing, and it's great people in the city, man. There's great people in the city, and there's not a lot of stuff to keep us together. And
there's a little bit of lack of camaraderie. I think that's what
I agree with you. Yeah.
I think that's maybe the gist. We talked about it a lot. Mm-hmm. We really did, and we'll listen to it. But we'll listen to it. I'm going to touch base, on the things we talked about. But camaraderie, I think, is one of the main things.
Yeah, man. If you want to reach out to me, get with Jason. It's probably easier to get with him on the podcast. If not, come down to the JW Marriott.
Absolutely.
I'm at OP Italian. I'm on the corner of 2nd and Brazos. Christian Calo asked for me. If not, find one of the chefs that I work for, and we'll definitely make sure you treat her right. So,
go.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not raining anymore.
No, it's not. 100%. Won't be disappointed. Go find him.
Yeah.
Chef Christian.
Jason, thank you.
Good.